am just so thrilled that we have Lisa. Good morning, Kendra. We have the amazing Lisa Blackstock with us this morning. She is such a superstar because she's so normal. And I absolutely love her story. I am so inspired by how she purposely built and purposely focused on networking. And she used to be a server at a restaurant or a cafe, and she continued to be a server because of all the connections she could make there, like as a job to network. Am I right, Lisa?
That's right.
Yeah. And so like focusing on, you don't know enough people and whatever, like Lisa knows that kind of story because she's not from a huge place. But the fact that she continued to that she had employment so that she could meet people. And she met the best person who's probably one of her best friends that they work together. Her story is so beautiful, so inspiring. I'm so grateful to have spent time with Lisa and that she agreed to come on. She is not from our team, but we are all Young Living. And I just welcome Lisa with huge heart to our morning meeting. And I'm just gonna let her tell her story to us. And I'm sure there'll be time for some questions after. She's just so amazing. I know you'll have questions. Take it away, Lisa, and thank you.
You're so sweet, seriously. Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here. And honestly, I do this for my team all the time, but it's so fun to speak to other teams and just, I don't know, just share your story and just be a part of Young Living. And just, we all have that common thread together. And I love that. So yeah, I started 7 years ago. And where my life was at was not in the best place. I was working at a bank for 11 years, and I was really suffering, just not feeling like I had any purpose, and just feeling very underappreciated and frustrated with the whole 9-to-5 deal. So when Young Living landed in my lap, thanks to my sister, I started to think about it a little bit differently the more frustrated I got with my job. And I decided that these products were incredible and they were worth sharing. And no matter how many hangups I had about network marketing and how many other ones I had done, this felt different. And as soon as I started to have people going, wow, these are incredible, and they were having the same kind of wins that I just saw myself going, wow, this is something I can put my time and effort into, and I can see that it's going to pay off. So instead of working really hard, or my job is understaffed, so I have to put in extra time, I didn't get more money or more appreciation for those hard days. But the more I put into Young Living, the more I was going to get out. So I was like, light bulb, this is going to be amazing. So the first thing I wanted to do was get my products paid for. Of course, I think that's naturally what most people want. And it's, I think, the easiest thing for you to grasp onto that seems attainable. So that happened in the first month. I reached Star in the first month that I was intentionally doing the business. At first, I really did not think I knew anybody. I went to work and straight home and raised my babies. So I had 3 good friends. So I was talking to a lot of acquaintances more than I was talking to friends or family. Again, I don't have a lot of family. So the acquaintances is where it's at, the people that you barely know. And then Young Living brings you in closer instead of all you do is talk about Young Living. You know what I mean? And so I thought I was just going to have one class and sign up a few people and get lucky. I had this whole mentality of that's what network marketing is. You'll find somebody who really wants to do it because I don't really want to do it. And so I thought I'd have one class, and then everyone who couldn't come to the first one wanted to come to my next one. And I just was confused. I'm like, oh, I wasn't going to do more than one of these, but I guess I will. And so I had a couple more, and then the ball just started rolling, and it got really exciting. Within 2 months, I was senior star, and then in 3 months, I was executive. So it went really fast. And I honestly cannot even understand how that happened, because I did not talk about Essential Awards and I did not talk about the opportunity. So I just was really authentically excited about the products. And I think people felt that. And they probably heard my shaking voice and was like, this girl must be in love because she is scared. And so I just did it shaking. And the more people that showed up in my class, the more nervous I got. And I just kept assessing every time I went to a class and just said, what can I do better next time? And I just kept trying to improve myself. And I literally had no one that I was following. We talked about the oils and we just got this kit. It's amazing. You need it. So yeah, so that is a little bit about the beginning, but oh my gosh, the things that have changed in our life since then and the person that I've become. Um, like in the beginning, our marriage was really, really rocky, and my husband was working graveyards, and it was like we weren't spending any time together. So that was a really tough point. And the more I worked and saw success, I was like, I see you coming home so that we can be together and raise our kids together. And so that was my big grand vision. Um, so if that's anything you can take away, like have a big vision, because if you're chasing hard after something that really is going to rock your soul, you're going to work your butt off for it. Whereas if you just want to help so and so get to executive, that's great, but you need your big why too, not just your team's why, but you need something that really drives you and drives your bus. So yeah, and this whole thing has been great because I've been able to do it alongside my children and just like wake up beside them, raise them. I was able to quit my job a year after starting Young Living. We ranked to silver, and I literally cried happy tears when I saw that $2,000 check, and it just made it so like, wow, if I can make $2,000 a month, what else can I do? Um, and so those dreams just kept getting bigger and bigger. And yeah. And if I can say anything about like the leader that you become and the person that you become, never stop doing the small things. I think that's one thing I've always done is just kept it really, really simple. And I've never overcomplicated anything. Like I've never felt like I needed to, you know, train mindset into people or like there are books for those things, right? All we need to do is get our products in front of people and have classes and teach people and love on people and celebrate people. The rest of it can be done from your own personal growth, right? Like get to the event, read that book, do the things. I'm gonna stay in the simple game, so that's duplicable and everyone feels like they can do this. So there's that. And yeah, what else do you want to hear about? I feel like I'm kind of just rambling, but like
Did you did you tell them how you went to be a waitress?
okay, yeah. So after that first year when I
Oh,
got my job, I knew I didn't want to. My husband was going to be like, all right, so she's going to come home from her job and then she can do all the dishes and she can do all this. And I just had such a grand vision for what I wanted out of team community growth that I didn't want to come home and not just, but do the baby thing and the household thing and everything. I wanted more than that. And I want to keep growing and meeting people. So I went to this little restaurant down the road and I started working like 2-3 days a week, just part-time, like 4-hour shifts, and wanted to meet people. And so then I met Gloria McLean, who is now platinum going for diamond. And she was just so bubbly and sweet. And I just knew like she has to be my best friend. Like I don't even care if she ever does oils, but I just want her to be my best friend. And I hope she likes me. And so I just nurtured that relationship. And it was probably I think she remembers things a little differently than me, but she says that she didn't want to do Young Living for 7 months, but I literally did not talk about Young Living for probably 4 of the months that I first started working there, because I didn't want to just be like, hey, you need to do this. So it was probably about 4 months in, and then I brought like my oils and I put them on the countertop, like right where we wash our hands. And so I was putting lemon oil in my water and I was using the oils and I would just smell like it all the time. So it was in her face. And then I just brought her a zing, and then I brought her something back from convention and I gave her a thieves cleaner to try. And she's just like, oh my gosh, can I take this home? And she was so excited. And so she was falling in love. And she had told me that she had done Young Living before, but she only had like 2 oils. And I was like, no, like stay with your enroller. That's a thing. Like you need to do this. We can still like have fun together. We can still go to convention. We can still do these things together. And something pulled her just like my enthusiasm and my excitement. And so she's like, no, you know what? I don't even think I ever had an account. I think I just bought oils from her. And so anyway, the rest is history. And so that was 5 years ago. And so I don't even know, like, what would I have done if I had never met her? So it's just been so fun. And we started running together as soon as she was ready and her excuses started to diminish. She's like, she didn't want anything to rock her family world and to like take more time away because she already was working more than full-time hours. So it was definitely a slow progression in the beginning. Slow but fast. But yeah, and then we just started doing all the classes together and all the things, and it's so much more fun when you have somebody to run at your level, and you know, you're not dragging anyone, but they're like lighting your fire and you're lighting their fire, and that is where it's at. So sometimes I get thinking too big and thinking I need to take everybody with me, but I'm like, you know what, when I was having the most fun and doing, like, our team was rocking the most was when I was just working with one leader and their team and where the energy was. So I get back to that a lot and I'm like, hey, stop trying to like make everybody win at the same time. Just like focus in, help that person light their fire, light their team on fire, and then move over to the next leader. And I really think that them watching you run like that, like, you know, traveling to classes, doing sleepovers and all these fun things, that really like excites the whole team, not just that one leg, obviously. So that is a strategy that I have used since then. So just like running with those people that have the energy. Yeah. So quitting
Okay,
my job and going to that was, um,
oh,
yeah.
sorry. Vicky said, could you talk a little more about how you keep it simple?
Yeah. Okay. In detail. For simple, like I recommend everybody who starts sharing that has one class a week. And so for simple, we just talk about the starter kit and the starter bundle. And we talk about the oils in there. And so I always recommend everybody who's sharing like how they got started, what their why is, like why do they love Young Living. And I mean, I used to talk about seed to seal, but I don't necessarily. I talk a little bit about why I love Young Living personally and that I've been to the farms. People love stories. They don't so much need the facts. So we keep it really simple in that way. And then we talk about some of our testimonies in the class. Something that you can do that's really, really, it's great to get new people that are sitting beside you that just started to share their stories and just be like, I'd love to have you at the front of the room and share your story about frankincense because it's just so amazing. So get them to share their story, like even before they know what they're doing. If they're like week 1, 2 weeks ago, they got their starter bundle, like that's prime time. Get them in the seat beside you. And then they're already out of their comfort zone. They're already talking about the oils. And yeah, so then you pretty much have a builder and they're excited. So that's how I get like new people to the front of the room. Or if you just want to call on them and be like, can you share this story about Digest? Because it's phenomenal. Everyone needs to hear it. And then at the end, we talk about like thieves. And when we talk about the thieves oil, I bring in a couple of the thieves products because I want them to know about the lifestyle. That's a big thing that we always want to talk about too. Or I tell my team that we want to talk about is the why behind why we're switching out the toxins, because I want people to get angry that they've been duped by everything that's in the store. I do tend to get a little like frazzled when I talk about it, but I feel like that comes across in a good way because you should be angry that you're using all these things and it's going on your kids' bodies and it's in your laundry detergent, it's in everything that you have. And if we don't switch out that and all we do is use oils, our body is going to be in a constant detox. So I just kind of put those, you know, those seeds throughout the class so that they start to think long term about the journey, about the lifestyle, and not just the oils. And that is part of my story too. Like if I would have just got oils and never switched out any of the toxins, I would not be where I am. So and I would not feel as good as I do feel, and I would not have a fourth baby, all the reasons. And then we talk a little bit about Ningxia Red because it is a staple in my life. And if you get somebody on Ningxia Red, they're on Ningxia Red for life. So that's a little bit about the class. And for simple, like we don't do huge snacks. We maybe have a bowl of popcorn and some tea, or like I sometimes will give a a sample of Ningxia Red. But again, that's not necessary because I know everyone is just starting out. And like just water with lemon in it or whatever you want to offer. But because if you're going to run to diamonds and beyond, you want this to be so affordable and so easy to do that anyone's like, oh, I don't need a big spread. I don't need to spend $50 on a charcuterie board or any of that stuff. And then I give them a piece of paper and a pen to write down notes and names of people that they can think of as they're listening to the whole presentation. We keep it to about 45 minutes. And when I start my class, it's like I start at 6 o'clock. No, I start at 6:30. It's been a while since I've done an in-person class at nighttime, but I usually, when I was doing this, is 6:30. And then we would have like mingle time. 7 o'clock, we would start the presentation and it would go for about 45 minutes. And then after that, it's like, let's talk essential rewards. Let's talk the opportunity. And if anyone in the class has any, awesome testimonies about how they love sharing this and that it comes across so authentic, then it's not just me talking about it. Yeah. And like literally recently we have discovered that this whole referral code, saying that wording is really helpful instead of saying like, do you want to or do you want to start this opportunity or do you want to share or whatever? Like just use this referral code. It'll give you 24% off. And you can talk to them about sharing and all of that after their brain has kind of like sunk in all of this information, because they're going to be excited that they can order right away. They can get the 24% discount and they feel like they've seen all of this value. Like, I want this forever. So, and classes, yeah, just one a week. And if you can do more as you go along, like this, maybe your aunt wants to have a class and this person wants to have a class, I would keep one personal class of your own every single week and then add the other ones to it. So Adam always says, the more meetings, the more money you're going to make, or the more momentum you're going to have. And so if you can do 3 classes a week, then you're basically like putting 3 months into 1 month. So the more you do, the better. And the faster you do it, the better, because your team is going to see so much more excitement. And when you have nobody show up to your class, it's okay. And I just want to reiterate that, because I sat on a couch like so many times with nobody at my class and I just ate the dip and chips, and I would just message all the people that were supposed to be there and be like, I'm so sorry I missed you. It was such a great class. I can't wait to see you next week. And I would post like in the Facebook event, if you do those, like a picture of the kit with my wine glass and like, I'm so happy that I got to see everybody, and just like creating that buzz that people were missing out. A lot of the times I faked how great I was doing before I was doing great. And I feel like that just called it all in. And I also felt like I needed to be silver before I really like owned it. I felt like for some reason people would take me more seriously when I was silver. So I really I ran for silver hard because that was one reason. But then I realized that I was putting it so far in the distance. So I started to like act and own it and show up like a silver. And then it was just like, okay, now everything was easy. And I did the same thing for diamonds. Like I was like, I know people are going to be so much more pumped about this business when they see me rank up to diamond. And I need to just start walking in that now, in that vision of who I am and who I want to be. And it's really more about like how you own it than it is anything else, right? Like people, I can edify someone on my team who's like a senior star and just be like, she is rocking it. She was doing amazing. And I will just post all the details about how much I love her. And then now everyone sees her as like, oh, I thought you were silver. Like, oh, I thought you were like, they had no idea that she was still senior star. So perception is so crazy how like, if you're celebrating, people are excited for you and they're like, she's doing amazing. I need to be a part of this. So yeah, keeping it simple. I just feel like I just keep going back to that, especially as a diamond. Like I think people put more, or I put more pressure on myself to do more, to offer more, to give more value. But at the same time, we really need to keep it simple and don't overwhelm yourself with too many details, too much overwhelm of like, I need to know everything, or I need to be able to train in a certain way. And I have just knock it down. It's really not, it doesn't have to be hard. It's just like fall in love with your people on your team and just really give value wherever you go and make people people feel amazing about themselves and make them feel seen. And then just keep growing yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was wondering, you've been here 7 years. You must have met Gary or seen him. Do you have any Gary stories to share with us?
Like briefly, I feel like I just got in at the tail end. So I ranked silver in 2000 and, oh gosh, what was that? 2015? Yeah, 2015. And when we went to the first Canadian convention, which was in Calgary, we got to cross the stage and shake Gary's hand. And I'm still looking for the picture of someone who got that. Like, because I know my team was there taking pictures. I'm like, who got a picture of me with Gary? So I shook his hand, and like, just, I feel like just the way he holds you in his, like, in his, even if you just shake his hand, he's like, you're the only person right in front of him. And he's so proud of you. And you can just feel his energy is so sincere. And I've, like, of course, I've listened to him speak at conventions, and he would talk for like 4.5 hours and like be crying on stage, and like such a visionary. And I just remember thinking, like, if we ever lose this guy, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna cry my eyes out. And I did. Like, the day that he passed away, I was actually going to Angela Bacchus's wedding, and I was like, I felt like I was at a funeral. It was so bad. I was like a sobbing mess, because he has changed my life so much. Like, I like adore that guy, and just what he's done for the world and for so many people. Um, and then when we went to the farm, I feel like if you've ever been to the uh, the Naples, Idaho farm and been in that living room, I feel like his spirit is there. And it's just, you can feel him there in that living room. And when you're planting the trees and just being to the farm, going to the farms is Gary. And I feel like if you can get to a farm, you will know the essence of what Young Living is all about and what Gary was all about. Um, and just the stories that the farmers have of him being the first one up and the last one to go to the bed and go to bed, and like how hard working he was. They have such great stories about Gary. It's so cool to like hear it firsthand from them. But yeah, that is probably like my only, well, I mean, I did see him fly in on helicopters at the farm when we were at convention, and like, he's super fun, and just how he loves jousting and stuff like that. But like, not super personal stories, but it was very cool to be there and to hear him live in person at the conventions and just know his heart. So if you can just even go to YouTube and just listen to him, it's something for sure. Yeah.
And I think, have you been on just one diamond retreat? Was that the Spain one, or have you been on two?
Yeah, I only got to go on one so far. But it was
I love that. That was amazing.
yes, like going to Spain was literally on my bucket list of things to ever do. And I have to say, like, me and my husband have only, like, we went to Vancouver Island for our honeymoon, and like, we never went traveling because we had kids, right? So traveling was always on my bucket list. So Young Living, that fact that it offered that, and I had never been anywhere. So my first trip was to Vegas. And I never thought I'd ever be able to go on a girls' trip without my husband. Like, I felt too guilty about stuff like that. And I went to Vegas 9 different times without my husband. And then just going to convention, he went to one of the conventions, the last one that we had in person. And but yeah, going to Spain and like hot air balloon ride, just they put out all the stops for Diamond Retreat. Well, for all the retreats, they're incredible. Like, even going to Silver Retreat is amazing, and having your own bed to yourself and like your own hotel room, like they treat you like royalty. It just feels so, I probably use these words incredible and amazing so many times during this call, but like, just to be loved that much by a company and so appreciated, that is just something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't feel it everywhere, but you feel it from your upline. You feel it from this whole team, Young Living, and you feel it from corporate, and you feel it in every place that you go to with Young Living. Like, they love on you so well. And just really getting to hang out with all the diamonds and like that camaraderie. And I like would just turned diamond that year. So I felt like such a baby in such a big pond, but like sitting around with Royal Crown Diamonds who have like 200,000 members on their team. And I was just like, tell me all the things. So yeah, and staying up to like 2 a.m. and joking and having fun. So I felt like I was just like so new in there, and I'm like ready to go back to another one of those. But cobblestone streets, and oh my gosh, like so much detail in their architecture, the things that we don't do in Canada. It's like this one pole like would have taken them a year to make. Like, why did they even make it? Like, it just makes you just so in awe to be there. And being away from my kids for 8 days was crazy. But yeah, I would love to do that again. I just want to go back. I want to go back and eat those olives and have tapas and stay up late and wander the streets. It's so good.
They are so definitely generous. Young Living is generous. Lisa, you have a big team, and I think we've all kind of we've endured the stay-at-home Zoom world. How is your team relaunching into live in person? Have you seen like a trend? Are they slow to get back into hosting, or like how have they done it?
Yeah, I feel like they are slow. I feel like a lot of belief has been eroded. And just because everyone on my team has pretty much dropped rank. And so that's a thing. Like, this is a season that I have not been a part of until now. So like it's always been like, go for that silver bound, go for this goal, go for that. So I feel like we are taking a little bit of a step back to like, well, I'm taking a step back to like really work one-on-one with people and build that belief back up, and give them like the little things that they forgot what they were supposed to be doing, like the IPAs, meeting new people, let's go. And so me posting, like I'm posting every week that I am doing a class, and I am sharing the pictures of it and getting that like that going, because if I'm not doing that, I don't feel like I can be preaching it. So we have weekly classes, in-person classes, and I'm seeing it starting to happen. So it's starting to ripple out. But I really just feel like when our team was growing fast, I was working with a lot of bigger groups and a lot of like team Zooms and huge classes. And I feel like people like tend to get seen or valued. They feel valued a little bit less. So I just really wanted to work one-on-one with people and really see where their hearts are at. So that's been working really well. I feel a lot more connected to my team. So work one-on-one with people and then get their vision back in front of them, because we kind of lose that. We have so much fear going on and so much chaos in the world. And I feel like they just need to be like, all right, this is why I'm doing it. It's right back in front of me. And so working there. But yes, just showing that you are showing up and doing the things yourself will start to ripple out. And I just never want to be a leader that's telling my team to do things that I'm not doing. So I feel like that has been really important for me. But yeah, it is starting to ripple out. And I feel like this month, and I started, like, I have been such a promo person that I've really tried to pull away from that, because I'll do a promo and like get people excited, but then it's always the carrot. I feel like they always need that carrot. So I haven't done that in a long time. And I just did one this month because I really just want to go, pow, like I want you to have success. I want you to have these enrollments, and I want your brand new people to get excited. So maybe the executives and silvers aren't excited about this promo, but I want to like the brand new people to see what we can do together. And if we're all moving in the same direction at the same time, then they're going to have some more excitement, and that energy is just going to build into September. So I am doing an enrollment promo, and I've really, really missed, I don't know if you guys have missed this, but I've really missed Level Up, because that system really worked for us really well. It's like, okay, enroll 2 people, you get this. Enroll 4 people, you get this. And then everyone, like, you don't even have to talk to someone about the opportunity. They're just like, I'm going to enroll my mom and my best friend, and I'm going to get this. So I just felt like it worked really, really well. So that's what I did this month. And I am seeing like so many more enrollments and so much more excitement. So I feel like that is a
Can you
thing.
share what your promo is?
Um, I am giving away $20 if you enroll, like a $20 credit if you enroll 2 people. And then for 4 people, I'm giving away a little oil bag, a little handmade oil bag, and then a surprise oil I'm going to plunk in there and mail that off for 4 enrollments. So 4 enrollments are going to get the $20 credit plus that. And then I'm doing another, it's all on the same, I can send you the image, but Um, for top and roller, I'm giving away all of that plus 2 bottles of Ningxia Red. And then first time enroller, you're going to get put into a draw to win all of that. So one first time enroller will win it all. But yeah, so I just wanted to get everybody like, let's go.
I totally understand
like,
wanting to reset people, right? Get that excitement going again.
Let's start moving this boat.
Yeah. It's such a relief to know, always I sigh relief to know that other teams and other people have felt that stop. People have lost sight of it. There's been like a halting kind of everywhere, because if nobody talks about it, you feel like, what's wrong with my team? Because why is my team stopped? But
not just
I love that, knowing other people and just kind of creative ways to get that movement again. Because when people are in movement, they stay in movement, I've found. But when they've stopped, trying to get them going again. So I love that tip about connecting one-on-one.
Yeah. Like we always say, inaction breeds doubt. And that is the truth of it, right? Like we're just like, well, maybe I'm not good at this anymore. And I think a lot of people too, over this past year, we've had to go so much online. And then they're realizing, well, I'm not really that great at Instagram. So maybe I just shouldn't do this anymore. You know, like I'm not good at Instagram. I literally have 1,200 followers. Whatever, I don't care. And I just like, I'm going to stay in my lane. Honestly, Facebook is kind of my lane. So I'm going to plunk some things into Instagram, but if I waste so much time over there focused on a following, I feel like I'm going to miss out on real connections. So I'm just like, I'm staying in my lane and I'm great at Facebook and I'm going to make relationships on Facebook. And if Instagram happens one day, great. But so just do what you feel good at and get. I actually just made a post about that. I was like, you know what? If you're struggling with doubt, what are your strengths? Like focus on your strengths and do that. Just do it over and over and over again. So if you're really good at one-on-one, just do that right now until you feel more confident, and then stretch your comfort zone and then do like, 5 people. But if you just right now where you feel doubtful and inactive and whatever, where are you strong? Stop thinking about Instagram right now or whatever your fear is. Think about where you're strong and get that wheel turning until you feel confident because of your action, and then you can stretch and then you can grow. But right now we just need to focus where our comfort zone is, just to get that action happening, and then we'll grow. So I feel like for me, I just need to tackle one thing at a time, and then it gets easier. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us. We have this recorded so that we can share it with all of the people that are doing summer things, because I know everybody's going to benefit from hearing you. And I'm just so grateful that you gave us your morning. And I'm sure if anybody has a question later, can they just like message you on Facebook?
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. Okay. I'd love to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for having me, you guys. It's so great to spend time with you all.
Great to see everybody again.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon. Bye,
Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.